Hello and a very good afternoon. We are live from the EANM Congress here in Barcelona, Spain, on nearly the end of the Congress. It's just been a massive event for those of you who may be watching all over the world and watching the stream here. So many sessions. But what we're going to be talking about in this particular edition of EANM TV is a focus group that's going to be taking place on Alzheimer's disease. And I've been joined in the middle here by Professor Silvia Morbelli, who is the Focus Meeting co-chair and is a full professor of nuclear medicine in Turin in Italy. We also have Professor Matthias Brendel, who's the Focus Meeting scientific advisor, and he's Professor of Translational Molecular Imaging in Munich. So thank you for that. And finally, we have Dr. Nelleke Tolboom, who is the scientific advisor for this and is a nuclear medicine physician in the Netherlands. So, Nelleke, can I start with you actually? Can we just have a bigger picture? And I know there are so many knowledgeable people here at the Congress and around the world, but people talk about Alzheimer's. What's the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia? Is there a difference?
Yeah, there is a difference. I think if I would use a metaphor, I would say that Alzheimer's disease is an apple and dementia is the fruit. So Alzheimer's disease is a subtype of dementia.
Okay, thank you for that. I think it will help a lot of other people as well. So Silvia, can you just tell us, why do you think that this timing for your event in February is good for this topic?
Well, this is an amazing moment for the field of Alzheimer's disease, for the neurologist, for us as a nuclear medicine physician, and most of all for patients and their family, because treatment is there for the first time, and all the community, all the scientific community needs to be there to help for the selection of the patients, to identify response to treatment. So it's something completely different with respect to what we were used to do until 2024.
Right, well that's what I was going to say. I mean, for years everybody said, well, you know, it's a growing disease, it's a growing condition, but there is no cure because there isn't even the most basic understanding of what it's all about. What changed?
Thanks to tools such as ours, thanks to the possibility to have surrogate biomarkers of response to treatment, clinical trials were shortened, were effective, and we were able to find neurologists and industry were able to find more than one anti-amyloid treatment, which are now targeting the most relevant feature of the disease. So this is really something that actually in the US is already a clinical reality since a couple of years, but now the regulatory approval came to Europe. So it's something that we need to face now, and we need to be prepared for this.
All right, it seems to have happened so quickly, because normally these things do take quite a long time. Can I come back to you actually? Can you just give us an overview of what the different topic areas are going to be at this focus meeting?
Yes, certainly. We have an excellent program, and there will be speakers that are leaders in the field. We have 5 tracks that will cover 2 days. The first track will be on detecting tau and amyloid pathology using fluid biomarkers and imaging biomarkers. The second track will be on selecting patients for those anti-amyloid treatments that Professor Morbelli just talked about. Then the third track will be on monitoring those anti-amyloid treatments. For instance, how the fluid and the imaging biomarkers can help with selection for treatments, and also looking at severe side effects. And then the fourth track will be on detection of co-pathology, because that also influences diagnosis and potentially treatment for these patients. You can think of vascular co-pathology, for instance. And then the final track will be on preventing cognitive impairment. We are going to look into if molecular imaging has a role in the prevention.
Is that because you can identify it far sooner than it's ever been possible in the past?
Yes, potentially that could be a very good reason. And we also have a speaker from the Brain Health Initiative, that's from our partner at the European Academy of Neurology, and they're also going to shed their light on how to prevent cognitive impairment in a broader sense.
All right, Matthias, if I can ask you, what impactful guidance do you expect will emerge from this? What are you hoping as an outcome?
Yeah, so the overall goal, of course, of this meeting is to get a consensus. So we really try to have then on several of these topics. So, for example, on the biomarkers, so which biomarker to use at which situation and how to stratify these people. So we want to have the clear answers in that meeting. And so we created a lot of different statements where we now asked all the attending people then to really rate that and to give their opinion on that. And in the end, with all these statements and also with the discussion on this conference, we will then generate a consensus paper, which will then be also a document that can be used for further development and for further guidance of the people that do the treatment.
Is there very much contention or controversy around the understanding of Alzheimer's, or are all clinicians, all scientists, all researchers all agreeing on we now understand it? So, you know, where are you at with that? Yeah,
the good thing is researchers never agree with each other, right? So we try.
I'm not getting involved in this.
Yeah, there were a lot of discussions, of course, also on Alzheimer's disease. I think there is a common understanding now that this amyloid cascade is a major part of this disease, and this is understood, and so these treatments are also all designed against amyloid currently. But what is not completely agreed on is which biomarker to use in what patient and at what timing, so depending of course on the clinical status of the patient. So this is how...
But this is really detailed tactical stuff rather than theoretical.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to be to have that on the operational level, right? So the patient is entering your door. Which biomarker do you want to use at what stage? This is what we will discuss at that meeting, and where we will have then hopefully then also a good consensus in the end after a lot of fruitful discussion.
All right, Silvia, what would you say makes this meeting unique? Why or how will it be different to a congress like this?
For sure, the multidisciplinary setting is a great advantage, the discussion. You mentioned controversy. There will be session that we will call controversy in favor or against, and I can tell you that there are...
pro and con.
Yeah, it's always useful, but in this case, there are some points, especially related to how to candidate patients that are still under evaluation, so we need to...
Can you explain what you mean by that? I'm trying to struggle. So it's identifying patients who are most likely to respond positively to a particular treatment?
Yes, but also the diagnosis. The diagnosis, it's clearly based on clinical presentation, but most of all on biomarkers. We have imaging biomarkers, but there are also other biomarkers that are very important. So we actually invited also experts of other biomarkers, including fluid biomarkers that clearly have their value, but are missing some information that we can provide, including topography and including many other features that imaging can provide that we are still working on, but that we will discuss together with the clinicians.
How did you personally get involved in this topic area? What really turned the light bulb on for you?
It's always a matter of teacher. When I was a PhD student, I met in my original university a neurologist that was curious about nuclear medicine, and so I started to work in it. It was since the beginning a multidisciplinary setting for me, and now it's a pleasure to spread this kind of discussion, the knowledge. I'm working with them since a long time, and this was the beginning for and also when you meet patients and their family, even if we are not treating them, is very relevant. In the focus meeting we will have also representative of Alzheimer Europe, which is an extremely important patient association, and we will have a patient to testify what does it mean for him being affected by the disease and the possibility of treatment nowadays.
So this is the real human side of what the disease does. It decimates people's brains, but I know that for families it's very, very difficult as well. I mean, my mother had vascular dementia, so I know. And the last memory I have of her, she was very lucid, very articulate. So I feel I was blessed in that. But how did you get involved?
Yeah, so that's interesting because my starting was a little bit different because I went into that field exactly when we were still in mice and had a look at this stuff all preclinical, right? So we tried to remove these plaques in mice with amyloid pathology, so that have this feature of Alzheimer's disease. And now it's really exciting to see that these efforts that we did 10 years ago in mice now really move to patients, and that we have effective treatments that are, of course, based on all that very relevant translational medicine. And yeah, I think that is the exciting times that we have the imaging available in our nuclear medicine units, and that we can really be one piece of this puzzle and a necessary piece of this puzzle to then finally get Alzheimer's disease treated.
And what about you?
Kind of like the same like Silvia. When I was a medical student, I had an amazing mentor. I bumped into Philip Sheltons at the Alzheimer Center, and he hired me for a PhD project, so I rolled into the neurodegenerative field.
All right, so what are you most looking forward to with this event in February?
So I think we will have a lot of the most relevant experts in the world gathered together at this conference, and we will have also a lot of different, I think, ideas on the concepts. So we will have people from fluid field, we will have people from the imaging field, and we can really join the different ideas, the different ways to look at the topic, and then hopefully get a good consensus in the end, because that is what we need.
What about you?
I agree. I think I look at it as a puzzle, so I think all the pieces of the puzzle will be there at the focus meeting, and I think that's extraordinary. You never see that, so I hope to solve the puzzle with all the pieces.
All right, so Silvia, why should people come, and give us the details of where and when?
They have to come to Palma de Mallorca from the 5th
Oh, that must be horrible.
Yeah. From the 5th to the 7th of February 2026. They have to come because they will learn a lot. They will have the opportunity to listen to the most updated information that are, I have to tell you, changing month to month, week to week, from week to week nowadays in this field. And they will be able to ask questions. We are trying as much as possible to a bit modify the format in an even more interactive way, because EANM now knows a lot about Focus Meeting. It's the 7th, I think, so they will have the opportunity to interact with the expert.
Well, what I would say is if the event has got as much enthusiasm and energy in Mallorca, then that's obviously going to be a great meeting. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the Congress. Not a lot more time to do, and I hope you recover quickly from the experience. And it still amazes me that people say, oh, you were in Barcelona. Did you have a nice holiday? They have no idea, do they? Anyway, thanks again. That's all from us for today. We'll be back tomorrow with EANM TV. I hope you have a great rest of day. Thank you very much.